I'd like to call to order the March 20th, 2024 meeting of the Board of Regents. Roll call, please.
Regent Latoro. Regent Molina.
Here.
Here. Regent Schultes.
Here.
Regent Clare. Regent Kenny. Here. Regent O'Connor.
Here.
Regent Schaefer.
Here.
Regent Shear.
Here.
Regent Stark.
Here.
Regent Whites.
Here.
Regent Wilmot.
Here.
Quorum is present.
In compliance with the Nebraska Open Meetings Act, the board has posted a copy of the act near the south entrance of the boardroom. Additionally, I'd like to note that today's meeting is being held in a virtual conferencing method in accordance with the Nebraska Revised Statute 84-1411. I'd like to have those in the room, if they may, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Included in your materials is a copy of the minutes from our meeting on March 5th, 2024. I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So move. Second.
Are there any comments or corrections to the minutes? If not, roll call, please.
Regent Molina.
Yes.
Regent Peckish.
Yes.
Regent Schultes.
Yes.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent O'Connor.
Yes.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Here. Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare. Yes. The minutes are approved.
In our notice of the virtual meeting, members of the public were notified that they must contact the corporation secretary no less than 24 hours prior to our meeting to participate remotely. No one contacted the corporation secretary to speak remotely. The standing rules further provide that those in attendance may address the board. I will first call those who gave notice of their intent to address the board. As your name is called, please come forward and complete the sign-in sheet. You will then have 3 minutes to address the board. Chad Carr.
Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank the Board of Regents for allowing me to give public testimony today. Lots of press in the room. As a graduate of the University of Nebraska in Lincoln in 1993, I've been a proud graduate and small business owner in the great state of Nebraska for the past 30 years. I owned a company called Ticket Express that I recently sold. I like to tell people I'm retired from the ticket business now, and I'm a community activist and consumer activist, and I just feel that there's been a lot of turbulence over the past week or so, and lots of opinions and about our search for a president, our search for a new athletic director, and I just wanted to say on behalf of Husker Nation, what a great job the Regents are doing, and you have our full support. And whoever you wind up picking for president, whoever our new AD is, the people of the great state of Nebraska will support you. And just because somebody has Nebraska ties from the past, either as a past player, a past coach, doesn't mean that they're the best candidate. Just because you're a former Nebraska football player doesn't mean that you're going to be the best athletic director, coach, or governor. With that being said, I would encourage you to, in all of your searches, look for people that have a heart of a teacher, a compassion of a preacher, and the courage of a farmer. With that being said, I'm going to, conclude by using a quote from Conan O'Brien. When he got kicked off the Tonight Show, a lot of people thought he was going to be very bitter about getting removed from the Tonight Show. And on his last broadcast, he basically said, in life, you never get exactly what you think what you expect. But if you work hard, you're kind, amazing things will happen. And I am looking forward to all the amazing things that lie ahead for not only the University of Nebraska, but the alumni, the fans, and the students. I'm a graduate. My sister-in-law is a graduate. My uncle was a graduate. And my niece McKenna is basically in ag science, and she'll graduate this December. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Robert Way.
Thank you, Regents, for the opportunity to speak. My name is Robert Way. Preparing to address the Regents, I thought back 30 years ago to the Orange Bowl game where Trev Alberts played with a broken arm and just gave a phenomenal effort in a moment where we didn't actually win that game, but he gave a phenomenal effort. And that's something I've seen time and time again in Nebraska football and Nebraska academics, that people get together as a team and they give phenomenal efforts. I wanted to take a few seconds of my time to reframe the recent departure. In 2009, Trev Alberts rejoined the athletic team. And for over a decade, he was here. And he got, I assume, got better at his job. And he became more valuable. And I don't think we should look at the fact that he or somebody went on to take another challenge, that somehow the university failed. I think that shows that the university grew a potential, and then somebody else wanted him. I think we all would like things to stay the same, but we all know that we all grow and develop, and as such, people want new challenges. So I personally see recent events not as a reflection of any loss, but that we created an environment where people can grow and develop and then be more valuable to other people. No matter what the status, though, the thing that Nebraskans always do respect is teamwork and people being on the same team. The thing that they don't respect is when somebody comes out and says, "It's not my fault." It's not something that they want to hear. They want to be on the team and they want to be together. Your position on the team is as the Regents. The Constitution gives you and you alone the power to make the decisions for the university. The Constitution was specifically written to give you that power separate from the other bodies so you could make an independent choice. All of you volunteer at no pay to do this job, and I appreciate you taking time to serve the state. The concerns that might be on everyone's mind are not the concerns that might be somebody who's been given a responsibility like yours when choosing the next president. I think you should look at the long term. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There being no one else wishing to speak, I declare the opportunity for public comment closed. We have a motion to go into closed session. Regent Kenny.
I move the Board of Regents go into closed session as authorized by Section 84-1410 of the revised statute of the state of Nebraska for the protection of the public interest to prevent needless injury to the reputation of persons who are not requested a public hearing for the purpose of holding this discussion limited to the following subject: confidential personnel matters involving the search and selection of the president of the University of Nebraska.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Call the roll.
Regent Peckish?
Yes.
Regent Schultes?
Yes.
Regent Latoro?
Yes.
Regent Molino?
Yes.
Regent O'Connor? Yes. Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shear?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites? Regent Whites?
You're muted, Barb.
Yes.
Thank you. Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Let the minutes reflect that the closed session shall be strictly limited to the discussion of only the following subject: confidential personnel matters involving the search and selection of the president of the University of Nebraska. We are now in closed session. As you leave the room, please take all recording devices and personal belongings with you. Session at this time, we'll take a 10-minute recess till 10 o'clock for folks to grab a cup of coffee or water or use the restrooms. Thank you.
Thank you. Can't hear. No sound.
It's because we're all being quiet.
Hard to believe.
Especially with several attorneys in the room.
There you go.
And news reporters too, by the way, who like to ask lots of questions.
I'm sure.
And Chad, okay, all right. Okay. It's now 10 o'clock. We'll call the meeting back to order. Regent Shear?
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to give just a little bit of an explanation. There seemed to be some conjecture over the last week or so, the amount of time that it's taken the board to make a conclusion on the search. And I don't know, I guess I don't count days the way some people count days, but I don't think we necessarily took any shorter or any longer period of time than any others. But to put it in perspective for the public, we started talking about a new president last fall with the resignation of our past president. We had to have a time to go out and find out what Nebraska wanted in a new president, which took about 60 days. And then we had to have a time frame for those interested in applying. And for those that are interested or wanted to listen, we ended up having Thanksgiving and Christmas time frame, and that probably wasn't the best time in the world to try to find applicants. And so we left that open for a 60-day period rather than probably the traditional 30. From my vantage point, our search actually started on the first week in January after it closed. We are now in the third week of March. That's about a 2.5 month period. I think that's pretty darn quick to make a decision. It's been a very interesting and informative process for me. I learned a lot from many of the people that we interviewed over those period of time, and we had some outstanding candidates. We have the opportunity today to make a priority candidate available to the state of Nebraska so that they can react and give their input. And that's how the process is supposed to work. I think all of us have had looks at what we want in a president. We had 9 pillars that we, as a board, put out there. We had many people that met all 9 of those, in different quantities in different parts of those pillars. My conclusion at the end is that Dr. Gold from the Med Center would be an absolute dynamite fit for the presidency of the university system. And having said that, President Schaefer, I would move that the Board of Regents designate Jeff Gold as a priority candidate for the position of President of the University of Nebraska in accordance with Nebraska Revised Statute 85-106.06.
Is there a second?
I second.
Discussion? Elizabeth, or Regent O'Connor?
We've put a lot of thought into the type of leader that the university needs, and as Regent Scheer mentioned, we came up with 9 pillars to help us evaluate the candidate pool. Dr. Gold's strengths align with these particulars extremely well. In particular, I'm impressed with his track record as a proven leader, a strategic thinker, and his commitment to One Nebraska. The university is currently at a crossroads. We are facing incredible challenges, but also incredible opportunities. As an experienced leader in education, I firmly believe that Dr. Gold is poised to help us take advantage of these opportunities and to build a university for Nebraska's future. I think not only can Nebraska look forward, but it should look forward to working with a leader like Dr. Gold, and I'm very, very excited to see what he's going to accomplish.
Any other discussion or comments? Regent Clare.
Yeah, I'd like to start by thanking the Jack, you fell.
Looks like Regent Stark might be on the floor soon.
Oh, a nice guy, please.
I'd like to start by thanking the participants throughout this process. And it starts with the folks on the different campuses that came and offered up for us language relative to what they are looking for and qualities and characteristics of the president, what the next president needs to have. And we met at all 4 campuses, and those were really important and informative. I want to thank the people who gave their time and gave us input via the portal and communicated to us what we should be looking for in a president. I want to thank the committee that put time in reviewing an enormous amount of applications. We had a huge pool to work from, and it wasn't just a pool for the sake of numbers, it was a pool in terms of quality. We had an outstanding group to choose from, and it made our job very, very difficult. I think we reminded our colleagues that this was going to be a hard decision, and obviously it was. And I also want to thank Academic Search. Jay Lemons and his team did a great job in helping us come to this decision. There's been ongoing debate on this back and forth. I agree with Regent Scheer that in my mind our search started. We had somebody in the president's seat on December 31, and we had an interim in the seat on January 1, and so the official president's seat had been quote unquote empty for approximately 2.5 months. And so I think we moved very quickly, very expeditiously, very efficiently, and again, I thank everybody involved in that process because it required a lot of work, a lot of time commitment. I want to thank the folks at Varner Hall as well, starting with Phil and his team in helping us stay organized and coordinated. He did a great job. So there was a tremendous amount of efforts that went into this, a lot of people involved, and so I'm excited about the next chapter.
I also want to express thanks to Phil for keeping our nose to the grindstone. He had everything scheduled perfectly and kept us all together. Also to Chris, who was willing to step in and take a leadership role at the time we needed it. And I feel that he's done a very fine job, and I thank him for that. I know it has taken a lot of his time also. And for the rest of the search committee, the larger search committee that we had, they gave of their personal time, their family time, and I think they did very good in that we had good comments, good discussions. And just thank the rest of my board for, the time that you gave us to try to digest everything and make the very best decision that we could for the state of Nebraska. And I do think this is going to leave us at a point where we can step forward with confidence and we can proceed onward with making the university the best place to be for our students and for our state of Nebraska.
Regent Kenny?
On with what everyone else said, but I'd really like to focus my thanks for this Board of Regents. This is a tough job. We didn't rush it. We found the best person available for our job. We've withstood attacks. We've travel schedules and, interruption of our families and our businesses. And without you guys, we wouldn't have got it done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regent Petches?
Yeah, thank you. And I would just echo the thanks that the members of the board have given. But I also want to thank all of the candidates that we had apply. There were so many qualified individuals who showed their love for the state and saw the opportunity in the University of Nebraska, and I think that's really special for me as a student, but for this board too. I am really looking forward to voting for Dr. Gold as our priority candidate. Is a great champion for this university and the state over the last 10 years. As Regent O'Connor said, when we're looking at those 9 pillars we promised to the state, he fulfills those 9 pillars, and he does that very strongly. But most importantly for me, and I think for our students, he's really a champion for students. And so I look forward to voting for him and seeing how he can become a champion continue to be a champion for our students and making sure students have success here. So thank you. And thank you, Phil, and the board.
Thank you. Regent Stark?
To follow up on Regent Kinney's comments, there seems to be 4 natural stages that one goes through when there's loss. The first stage was shock. We experienced that. The second stage was anger. That lasted for about a week. Third stage was blame. There's been a lot of that. And now the fourth stage is healing. And it's time to heal. And time to move forward and select someone that can bring about this healing.
Regent
And
Claire?
I forgot one other person I want to thank, in addition to the candidates and giving their time. But I really want to thank Chris Kaborik, because when Regent Schaefer and I approached him, we said, this is an interim position, going to take a lot of work. It's going to potentially be disruptive to your family because of the work involved. And it's not going to, you're not going to be a placeholder. And he said, I don't want to be a placeholder. I want to keep moving this university forward. And if you recall, his comment was, I love this place. I'll do anything for it. And so to that end, what he has done has been truly remarkable. And he's I think, really lifted this university as well and done a great job in that regard. So I want to publicly thank him for all of his time and energies in this process as well.
Okay. Regent Molina?
Thank you. I think our members of the board have given some incredible comments. The one I'd like to echo the most is Regent Peckish and his emphasis on the student experience. I think everyone has been putting students first in this entire process, and I can be proud to say that I believe Dr. Gold is a person who can help further that mission. I was elected to serve several thousand students at the University of Nebraska at Kearney, but also the 50,000 students in the entire state of Nebraska. And I think the selection of our priority candidate will help further that mission, not just for our incredible health science students with the medical center expertise, but for a broad-based education in everything from the humanities to social sciences and our STEM fields. So I'm excited for the opportunities that our students will have, and I couldn't thank everyone enough for putting students first.
Regent Shear?
Thank you. couple kudos first. I want to thank Tim for starting the process and Rob for finishing the process. They both put in an astronomical amount of time that even we as regents didn't see and weren't aware of, and championed our state. So I do want to personally thank both of you for the time and the effort that you put in and the leadership that it took. And you got to deflect a lot of the bullets that were tossed our way. In relationship, and I'm not arguing that Dr. Gold will be a steward for the students, but I got to tell you, we were elected to represent 2 million members, citizens of the state of Nebraska. The only job that we really have by statute is to hire the president. And it is a big deal. And we're looking for some long-term commitment now and some stability to come to the university. And higher education is having struggles everywhere. It's not just Nebraska. I thought we were in a world of hurt when we found out we were a little on the north side of 50 million in the hole. And about a month later, while University of Arizona says they're about 250 in the hole. So, Penn State's in the hole. I mean, you name every university that you can pick has got financial problems. And although ours are large, they're not as large as some of the others. And we will find a way to work out of ours. This university has lasted for a long time, and it will be here when we're gone and never heard of again. So I do want to appreciate the interest by the state of Nebraska, all those people that have contacted each and every one of us about various things during that search. You got to have the good and the bad, and we all learn from that. And so I think this is a really big day for Nebraska. I think it's a great step. We're not on the moon, so it's not a step for mankind, but it sure as hell is a step for Nebraska. So thank you for both of them.
Regent Schultes.
I'm really excited to designate Dr. Gold as our priority candidate. I think he's a rock star and a champion for the university, its students, and the state of Nebraska as a whole. I also wanted to say thank you to the rest of the board. Not everybody gets to see what happens behind closed doors, but to me and the rest of the student regents, it's very obvious how passionate you guys are about our state and our students and the young people who are getting their education here in Nebraska. So I appreciate that a lot, and I know the future of Nebraska is bright, and the future of Nebraska leadership is bright with the reins being in the hands of the Board of Regents.
Thank you. Regent Whites.
Yes, everyone's comments are wonderful, and I agree with all of them. And the one group I wanted to thank is the student regents. They're all trying to work on their university degrees at the same time that they're doing something that feels lately like a full-time job to me. And you've done an amazing job of coming prepared, speaking out, representing the whole state. And I'm excited about the whole state learning a lot more about the incredible leadership we're about to receive.
Any other comments? You've all said so much and have said it so well. There's not a whole lot left for me to say, but I would like to start by just saying, looking forward to this next chapter for the university and working with Chancellor Gold, and would like to thank him for having the courage to put in to apply for this, as well as all the applicants, because these are tough jobs, and at the end of the day, I don't know what leadership looks like to everybody across the state of Nebraska, but what I will tell you is probably if you had to pick one word to define a leader, and define a leader that can get the job done regardless of if things are going well or if there's adversity, because it's easy to lead when things are going well, but when things are really going tough and adversity, that's where really the defining characteristics and qualities of a leader come out. And in my opinion, that one word would be courage. And so thank you to everybody on this board for having the courage to work through this process. It was difficult. Thank you to Chancellor Gold for his courage for applying and being willing to take this position. Thank you to all the applicants that we had. Talk about some wonderful people, and that's one of the nice things about going through these searches is that you get to meet a whole lot of different people from across the country with different backgrounds and different thoughts and ideas and perspectives. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about, is bringing different perspectives to the table. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter so much what we look like, how tall or short we are, or whatever the case might be, or the color of our skin, but it's the perspectives that we bring to the table, whether someone grows up here right in southeast Nebraska or California or some foreign country. It's those perspectives that actually make us all different. And at the end of the day, if we were all the same, the world would be a really dull and boring place to live. So I think that's important. Last but not least, two special thank yous to this individual, Phil.
Right.
Talk about a tireless servant. Holy cow, Phil's incredible. We're fortunate to have him on our team, and the University of Nebraska, in the state of Nebraska. He's probably a name that 99.9% of the people across the state don't know, but they ought to be grateful that we have Phil Bakken on our team. And then last but not least would be Chris Koborik.
Right.
Talk about servant leadership. Holy cow. He didn't walk around the pool to gauge how deep the water was when we asked him that night here a few months ago, or how cold it was. He didn't even care whether he could swim or not, but the guy just jumped in the pool and did what needed to be done. I can tell you he held himself accountable. He didn't need any prodding from us. If anything, we had to visit with him and we'd provide someone for him to voice thoughts and ideas. But Chris Koborik is not only a servant leader, but he's going to be a future leader of some university someday. Hopefully that's here. But I can guarantee you, by elevating him from the second floor of Varner Hall into the president's suite, if we've done anything, we've elevated his profile and we've revealed to the world who Chris Koborik is. And I can assure you, he's going to be getting calls. And so my hope is that we can figure out how we can kind of keep him here and build our bench, because one day he would be an extraordinary leader for the University of Nebraska. And so I think that's important as well. But at the end of the day, we're here to celebrate and move forward with Chancellor Gold to be our next president. And I would ask everybody on this board, as well as everybody across the state of Nebraska, and all folks that have Nebraska ties, to unite and rally around the future leadership of Jeff Gold. And with that, I'm pleased and excited to announce, I got a little ahead of myself, but we've had a motion, we've had a second. I will now ask to have the roll called.
Regent Schultes?
Yes.
Regent Latoro?
Enthusiastically, yes.
Regent Molina?
Yes.
Regent Peckish?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shear? Yes. Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny?
Yes.
Regent O'Connor?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, I am pleased and excited to announce that the Board of Regents has designated Jeff Gold as a priority candidate for the presidency. At this time, if you'd please excuse me and Regent Clare, who's also the chair of the search committee. He and I'd like to go make a quick phone call to Jeff Gold.
lack of an official at this point in time, I guess we will stand at ease for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
We will share details regarding a media availability later this afternoon. In accordance with the state law, we will begin a 30-day period in which we will conduct a number of public forums at which our university community and the public will be able to ask questions, provide input, and get to know Jeff Gold better. A bio, along with additional information about the public forums and a means of providing feedback, will soon appear on the website at nebraska.edu. Thank you. There being no further business, and if there's no objection, we stand adjourned.